Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. Glad to have you guys all in here. Let's see what we have here today. We got Chip, Catman, Carson, as well as Pete and Sam. Also, that random guy is also in here. And Indiana, as well as everyone else who may be in here and not chatting. Glad to have you here as well. We're going to be talking about tomorrow's severe weather threat. As y'all know, we went over this in yesterday's stream that it could uptrend even some more. And we're now looking at the potential for a intense MCS to a Derecho tomorrow. So, yay! Another one of them wind bags to track. So let's go ahead and dive right on into this. I'm just going to double check again, make sure everything is good to go, and we shall switch on over. All right, so here is the risk for tomorrow. We do have our enhanced risk in place, our level 3 right there in the red. That is our enhanced risk for damaging winds. So we'll keep a, we'll be watching that whole area for the potential of potentially up to 90 mile an hour winds. And before we dive into that, so that we can, give some time for more people to come on in here. We're only 3 minutes in, gracious day. Let's give some people some time, shall we? Let's go ahead and just do a recap on the overnight derecho that occurred. Now, it's not an official derecho, but my goodness, 390 miles worth of a damaging wind swath. That is very close to derecho criteria. But let me go over to your storm reports here. And here you go. There you go. So that is what, personally, I can't designate it as a derecho, so therefore I'll just call it a very intense MCS that occurred last night in South Dakota. You probably maybe saw that community post I made at midnight last night. So yeah, actually, after I made that, about an hour or so after I made that, we had this report here in west central South Dakota for 109 mile an hour winds out there towards, actually, I don't even know where that is. Geez, I guess we'll just go with southwest of LaPlante out here in South Dakota. So we'll see if there's any damage out there. I haven't seen any reports or anything in terms of damage, but you can obviously see a mesonet. So that's observed 109 mile an hour winds there. And then, of course, we have just an absurd amount of 80. We have 80 here, 80 here, 80 here, 80 here. And we do have a few damage reports that I just now saw. So, yeah, some trees down on a road. Roof blown off, storms shed. But I haven't seen anything significant. I'll click through these. Yeah, 3-inch limb broke. Several large trees down, structural damage. Okay, that is a little bit more on the higher end. several campers and trailers damaged or overturned. That is a lot more significant. I did not see that report. Let's see. Yeah, that is definitely more significant. That's out from Fort Perry, if that's how you say that, in central South Dakota. That's only from probably about high end 70-mile-an-hour winds, maybe up to 80-mile-an-hour winds there. So we'll continue to just receive reports from and local officials out there, and hopefully everybody's all right, because that was very, very, very intense overnight MCS there, and we could be looking at the exact same thing for tomorrow. So now that there's a few more people in here, welcome to the stream. First off, glad to see y'all in here. Shelly, let me see. Let's see. Psycor, almost mispronounced your name again. Jim, Spring Rain, glad to see you in here. And everyone else, like I said, glad to have y'all all in here. Haley, Girl Dev, but we're going to go ahead and dive right on into that. I'll get into that. Let's see. What should I watch out for tomorrow and Tuesday in my area? So tomorrow, I don't think will be too bad for y'all out there in like South Central Indiana. So if you live anywhere south of the Indianapolis metropolitan area, so this includes where Girl Dev is out there, I don't think you'll see a whole lot. Now Tuesday, this is also a question mark, but somebody in here is going to see a slight risk for severe weather. There's a bit of a model uncertainty on if we're going to see the line form in western Ohio and eastern Indiana, or right over where Girl Dev lives out there, northwest of Bloomington, Indiana. So there's some model uncertainty on Tuesday, but somebody in here is going to have a risk for 70-plus-mile-an-hour winds as we go towards Tuesday, and we'll cover that live like we will for tomorrow's threat, which is a enhanced risk for severe weather. Tornado threat is a 5% for tomorrow. I don't see this being upgraded. It's mainly going to be spin-up tornadoes that will be the biggest issue. So if you live in and around, keyword is around that 5% tornado risk, because we're also going to be watching that 2%, and as well as outside that 2%, just because you're barely outside that 2%, say for instance, up here towards Germantown in southeastern Wisconsin, you probably still want to keep an eye on that tornado threat, because that just simply means it's probably less than 2%, but you could be pushed right into that 2% chance for tornadoes as we go forward. The newer updates for tomorrow. Wind threat here is by far the biggest. That's really our biggest issue there. Let's see. Yeah, so the wind threat's our biggest issue. We are expecting 75-mile-an-hour winds here in that red hatched area, which goes all the way from Des Moines and Waterloo all the way back towards out here towards Logansport, Fort Wayne, South Bend, Indiana. The main area I will be watching tomorrow is going to be just barely west of Chicago towards Waterloo and Cedar Rapids. This area here is where I'm watching the utmost. I do think a moderate risk will be on the table for tomorrow. Now, I'm not the SPC, so I can't say it's going to go moderate, but if our models stay this consistent and are the same exactly how they are now, we will probably see a moderate risk at least be mentioned in their discussion. So we want to keep a very, very close eye on the National Weather Service's outlooks, because it could change at any second. We could see that upgrade to a level 4 out of 5 risk for tomorrow. And of course, that will be for damaging winds. Again, the tornado threat is a 5%, which is a level 2 at the moment. The wind threat is a level 3 at the moment. And that hail risk for now is at a level 1. I wouldn't be shocked to see them upgrade that just to a level 2 threat out there towards central, maybe eastern Iowa, back out in this area. I think we could see a slight risk for some large hail out there. I think we'll see up to 2-inch hail for tomorrow, up to 90-mile-an-hour winds, and then a lot of tornadoes are 100% on the table here, especially on wherever the northern edge of that MCS will track, or potential derecho. Which, if I show you guys the HRRR model, it's one of our more accurate model runs. At the moment, I think it's handling tomorrow pretty well. I think it's handling it pretty well for tomorrow's severe threat. Storms really get going towards 4:30, 5 o'clock. This is all going to be in Eastern time. Heads up on that. This is going to be in my time zone, so Eastern. So 4:30, 5 o'clock, we see storms fire. That's when we have a big hail threat, isolated tornado threat, and a damaging wind threat. And then as they grow upscale, we lose that hail threat rapidly. I mean, we rapidly lose that hail threat probably by 5:30, 6 o'clock. So you're only looking at a 30-minute to an hour window for large hail. And we rapidly grow upscale into a line of damaging winds. Now, this particular model run, the HRRR 18Z, shows 95-mile-an-hour winds on the northern edge of that MCS, which would track through Freeport, Rockford, northwestern Chicago. So we'll, of course, need to take that into consideration that we could see up to 90-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. However, this is just a model, but it's a very surreal possibility. So I'm really keeping a very close eye on this. We'll get a new model tonight, 00ZHRRR. In about 2 hours, 50 minutes here, we'll get that new model run. So I definitely see tomorrow being one of the, if not the most notable wind threat that we've seen in a while in terms of, how do I put this here? We've had a lot of wind bags that have been very low population, but tomorrow looks to be high population and a high wind threat. So, for instance, the overnight threat in South Dakota that impacted a couple thousand people, but it wasn't, like into the millions of people being impacted there. We had an overnight MCS in southern Nebraska. That one was a little bit more notable because it actually hit the Omaha metro area, but it wasn't too notable in terms of the population further west. But Omaha got hit bad by that derecho. This one, I mean, we could be looking at a potential intense MCS for Cedar Rapids, Davenport, Chicago, maybe Des Moines, but I doubt it. I think storms are going to fire. Really, like I said, I think the HRRR has this almost down completely. Storms will fire in and around the Des Moines, Iowa area, and then they rapidly grow into that damaging wind threat as we go towards 6:30, 7 o'clock tomorrow night, again, Eastern time. And like I was saying with the spin-up tornado threat, it's probably mainly going to be focused on that northern edge. So keep in mind that northern edge, by the way, it's completely unpredictable. It could occur anywhere in that 5% or even a bit outside that 5% area for tornadoes. But wherever that northern edge sets up is going to be where the tornado threat will be the highest because it will be closest to that MCV and have the potential for the most circulation. So let's see. It's just going to be it's just going to be very windy there. Yeah, definitely. It is going to be very, very windy tomorrow out there in northern Illinois and especially southeastern Iowa. Like I said, I really think this area, that area here is the main area to watch at the moment. Now that could shift further to the south. We have another model run called the NAM 3K, which is, as y'all know, if you've been here before, dead wrong, pretty much 24/7, it feels like. We got 2 tornado warnings in Canada. I saw those pop up. So this is what the NAM 3K shows for tomorrow. So it actually rapidly grows that upscale for Des Moines as we go towards 8, 9 o'clock. So a nocturnal threat there on the NAM 3K, and it tracks it through. Most of that risk actually ends up with damaging winds, and then it rapidly falls apart even before Chicago. I mean, your MCS is falling apart here, not even halfway into that 5% chance for tornadoes, and that is because of the timing. The NAM, I don't know why or for what reason, but it really wants to have this threat be overnight for tomorrow. And I just don't really see that being a big issue in terms of storms firing at 9, 10 o'clock and then growing upscale and becoming significant towards 10 and 11 and then dying out towards 11:30, 12. I don't see that being a possibility. These storms should really get going towards Des Moines, pointing north, probably about 5 p.m. That's really what I'd say, 5 p.m. Eastern. And I also want to note this, if we just take a quick peek, this is what our radar looks like at 6 o'clock. And if you look above my face cam, you can see what the NAM 3K thinks that the radar would look like right now. And it's dead wrong already. It is dead wrong already. So, yeah, the typical NAM. And the HRRR18Z is much closer. So this is actually in 1 hour. So the HRRR that we were just using, it is a little bit behind. It has storms firing towards 6:30, 7 o'clock, whereas we already have them going out here in Iowa for today's risk towards, I mean, these fired at like 5:30. So both model runs are a little bit off there. Today's threat shouldn't be too over the top. We'll go and switch all over to those model runs. I didn't check this scene. Okay, I'm going to just quickly change that. There we go. We'll do this one. It's probably the same one. Yeah. Hold on. Those codes are a little bit too far to the bottom. We're going to try to move those up without absolutely destroying our overlay. Maybe better? I think that's better. I'm going to zoom it in just a tad. And then we're going to bring it down just a bit. That should be... It's still cut off. Man. That's the problem with making your own overlays, man. You always have to do everything yourself. So here is the HRRR4. Actually, we'll do the newer one. This is the 21Z. So that actually shows storms well fired at 6 o'clock, which is, of course, well, 6 minutes ago now. But the main threat today should really be damaging winds and maybe a few instances of large hail. Let me go to the risk today. I didn't even look at the hail threat. Yeah. About 1 to 1.5 inch hail will be possible out there in and around the Chicago area, damaging winds up to 70. And I do believe a couple tornadoes, especially in Chicago, will be a very surreal possibility, especially as we go towards 10, 11 o'clock Eastern tonight. You can see the HRRR intensifies that line of damaging winds as well as potential tornadic activity later on tonight, like I said, towards 10, 11 o'clock. I think that's a very real possibility. So if I'm chasing today, I'm probably going to target the northwestern metro of Chicago for that highest tornado threat. But I mean, that's if you made me chase. Today's not really a day that I would be willing to chase. I wouldn't go out of my way to go towards Chicago and storm chase today. We did just see a severe watch issued, so I'll bring y'all on over here. We just got a severe watch in Montana and North Dakota. Let's see here. Main threat by a milestone is hail, potentially upwards towards 2.5, 3 inch in diameter, as well as 70-mile-an-hour winds. Tornado can't be fully ruled out, but mainly a hail threat with that. There's your different criterias. The Canada's Weather Service has a tornado warning. Our National Weather Service has a special weather statement. That's what got tornado warned in Canada? What is their criteria? If it has rain, it can produce? Is that their criteria for a tornado warning? Sure, buddy. Charleston, West Virginia just got under a, yikes. That's a lot of wind. Yeah, if you're in Charleston, West Virginia, probably best to seek shelter. Make sure you're buckling things down now. You still have some time. You just got put in that severe, but, you know, you probably didn't even know that there was a storm heading your way till now. The National Weather Service has been kind enough to give you a full 40-minute heads up there. So make sure if you're in Charleston, Charleston, West Virginia, that you've tighten things down and you're inside, preferably within the next 7 minutes. You don't want to stay outside during a severe storm, but I mean, you just got put in that, so make sure those preparations are finished. There's not a whole lot of lightning activity with that either, with the exception of the northern side of that severe. All right, back on the topic of tomorrow. So if you're just tuning in, we are talking about the potential for 90-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. Now, that's really the, I want to say the high end, but that's almost what will be a possibility. I wouldn't be shocked if the National Weather Service says that as well as we go towards tomorrow, because it seems like that's a very real scenario where we see 90-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow out there, especially in southeastern, east central Iowa, maybe even into west northwestern Illinois. right now the SPC is calling for and expecting 75-mile-an-hour winds. So they're expecting 75-mile-an-hour winds. Most likely, we're going to have 85 to 90-mile-an-hour winds possible. Let's see here. Tomorrow's going to be a very interesting event. We'll see. We will see. I'm looking at their discussion here, and they note the possibility for multiple rounds of damaging winds and or a MCS bow echo. And of course, they added that 5% tornado risk for QLCS action that could occur, which is spin up tornadoes with a line. So, let's see. Thank you, Legacy, for being a member for 11 months now. That is very close, very, very close to a year. I greatly appreciate it. I guess that means we've had memberships on this channel for almost a year, which sounds about right. I remember making them towards around October. Let's see here. Let me see. We're getting some questions. I haven't been the best at answering those. So that's Ottawa in Illinois. That's where you live, Sam? I didn't know you were in Illinois. Okay, this is a bit tricky. It could uptrend for you. Let's see what the HRRR is showing. You're probably going to see damaging winds out there. My word, yeah. I don't really see a scenario where you don't see damaging winds out there. So definitely want to be extremely weather aware. That's where your grandpa lives. Well, let him know that if you can, to buckle some things down out there and prepare for the damaging winds that could occur tomorrow. Hopefully nothing happens, but I mean, you're in that area is in the potential for 80 to 90-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. Oh, sweet. Blaney won. Man, I wish I saw him win Pocono today. Let's see. I want to go over to southeast West Virginia. Will those storms keep going into southeastern West Virginia? Let me see. I'm going to check another model run for you. Let's go back over here. That is not handling it well at all. I think it's a possibility, but I don't expect it by any means. I don't think it will continue any further than Fayetteville. I think Fayetteville's the last area that may see impacts from this line. It should break apart pretty fast, but there's a chance that it doesn't. I say that because model runs are terrible at handling summertime thunderstorms, but it should fall apart around the Charleston area pointing east. Even if it doesn't, you should have upwards of, I mean, your worst case scenario would be like 40 to 50-mile-an-hour winds in southeast West Virginia, even if that held together. Northwest Indiana is good. Got nothing to worry about. I was going to say maybe for today, but even today, you're in that risk for severe weather. So, yeah, I mean, if you're in Northwest Indiana, especially out towards South Bend, down towards Lafayette, that area is definitely going to see the risk for up to 70-mile-an-hour winds tonight as we go towards 11 o'clock Central, midnight Eastern. So you definitely want to be ready for some gusty winds out there. Maybe even a tornado could occur out there as well. So I would definitely be weather aware today. Tomorrow is definitely a way bigger day. There's a lot of model uncertainty on how far those storms will go. So you're in a bit of a question mark for tomorrow. It just depends on when they fire. It just depends on when they fire, because if they fire towards 8 o'clock out here, they're probably going to die out near Chicago. If they fire at 5 o'clock towards Des Moines, they will probably last all the way towards northwestern Indiana. So I'd be ready for 70, 80, maybe even 80-plus-mile-an-hour winds out there in Indiana for tomorrow. Just in case, like I said before, you always want to be prepared for that worst-case scenario and hope for the best-case scenario. Which, there's definitely a chance that you see just some rain tomorrow as opposed to any damaging winds. North Carolina, no, I haven't talked about NC. There's not really much to talk about there. You just have some isolated thunderstorms over the next couple days. I don't really see anything organized. I'm keeping an eye on Wednesday. But models don't go out that far just yet. But I am keeping an eye on Wednesday for the potential of severe weather in North Carolina and Virginia, maybe even in South Carolina as well. So I'll be watching that very closely just in case, because I could chase Wednesday. Any tornadoes? It's still a little far out, but I doubt it. I doubt we'll have much of a tornado threat Wednesday. I'd be very, very surprised. Let's see. Speaking of NC, Lucky returns tomorrow. How do you know, Pete? Does he return tomorrow? I don't even know. I don't even know. Um, I think he said Wednesday. I think he said Wednesday. But I'm not too sure. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button because we'll be live doing coverage tomorrow. Today's threat is very conditional. So in terms of that significant damaging wind side of things, there's a chance we see 50 to 60, and there's a chance we see 70-mile-an-hour winds tonight. So it's just really split down the middle on what we may see. I'll monitor it for maybe a bit, see if urgent live stream may be needed tonight, but I don't really plan on it. So we'll definitely be live tomorrow. This briefing's not even halfway over, so if you guys can, hit that like button and share the stream with your family, friends, social media. It really supports the channel. And if you would like to tune into tomorrow's live stream, make sure you have subscribed. If you don't subscribe, YouTube's probably not going to recommend me to your feed. And even if you do subscribe, YouTube will probably still not recommend me. Just knowing what YouTube does all the time. So they did actually pull that severe warning for north central North Dakota for this storm in Sherwood. That's a big severe watch. I haven't really looked up there too much. Yeah. It's a lot of elevated hailers and damaging winds up there in North Dakota. I wouldn't be shocked to see them pull an enhanced tonight up here. I'm shocked they don't already have an enhanced for hail and wind. They have a 2% tour up here? They do. Yeah, we could definitely see a couple tornadoes, 80-mile-an-hour winds, and probably 3-inch hail up here. Between 2 to 3-inch hail. There's your wind threat. They did indeed put a hatched risk on that wind threat. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, so they are talking about the potential for 70-mile-an-hour winds in that black hatched area. They will probably move that a little bit more to the northeast for today. And then, of course, they have that hatched hail risk for 2-inch hail, too. So they still have a risk, but that risk might be a little higher than they're currently forecasting. When is that front supposed to go through? What front? Buddy, there's a lot of fronts, dude. There is a lot of fronts. Said the 15th when I asked. Well, I hope he comes home tomorrow. That'd be great. Rain is expected Tuesday. Monday to Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going to see some rain in the Carolinas, but it's very hit or miss. And it solely depends on where you are, too. Some people will see rain, but honestly, I think most of North Carolina is going to stay dry for Monday and Tuesday. Your main day will probably be Wednesday, but again, there's a lot of uncertainty on what will happen there. Plainfield, Illinois. I know where that is, but I'm going to look at it anyways. Stupid Nightbot. Yeah, if you put if you say like a word, put a period there, and then a word, no space at all, Nightbot thinks it's a links broken thing. So you are definitely in the risk for severe weather. Even today, you need to watch out today too. The risk for 60 to 70-mile-an-hour winds will be a possibility, as well as a tornado or two, maybe even some isolated hail up to 1 inch in diameter for today. Those are all your possibilities. Now, what will you probably see? Moderate rain. Most of the time, that's how it goes when you're in these risks for severe weather. You prepare for all this stuff, then you end up with just a bit of rain. But you always want to be ready for that worst case scenario just in case. Tomorrow is a much higher end day. There is still some uncertainties, but your area is definitely at risk for 80 to 90 mile an hour winds, 1 to 2 inch hail, and a few tornadoes will all be possible tomorrow. Tomorrow's a higher threat in all hazards, really. The hail threat's the same as today, but it's probably going to be a little bit higher tomorrow. Main issue is going to be wind and tornadoes for both today and tomorrow in that area. You are in both those risks. Look at that. Both tornado risks, both wind risks, and both hail risks today, tomorrow. But tomorrow's definitely the bigger day. You think I'll have a tornado threat? I think you'll have a risk for a brief tornado tomorrow. Oh, actually, nope, you're very far south. Never mind. Never mind. Nah, you'll be good. I mean, I wouldn't fully rule out a brief tornado, but I highly doubt it. I mean, what are the chances of a tornado happening here as opposed to anywhere else? It's just very low. I mean, there's a chance that we don't even see a tornado tomorrow in Illinois or Indiana, so I'd be shocked if you get a tornado out there. Charlotte, let's see. It's very scattered. It's always hit or miss. The summertime thunderstorms are always very difficult to predict. I mean, gracious day, we had a very damaging storm out here towards southern Henry County in southern Virginia, and it was not predicted at all. Wasn't expected by any means. So, rain will definitely be possible over like the next 4 to 5 days out there towards Charlotte. But I can't say that you will, and I can't say that you won't see rain. Gracious day. Man, I'm not that tired now. How much of a tornado threat does Iowa City have for tomorrow? What is the highest risk? Let's see. I did look at that area before stream. It's not popping up as a city here. There it is. You're in the highest risk. I hate to tell you that, but you are definitely in the highest risk for probably all hazards. That's one of the main areas, if not the main area I'm watching for tomorrow. Put it in perspective, if I were chasing tomorrow's severe threat, I would be very close to Iowa City. So I would probably start my day in Marshalltown and then like stay right along that interstate, and I'd probably track towards Cedar Rapids and then Iowa City, then go towards Davenport. So you would be in my target area. But yeah, definitely a high severe threat for you. I do think that tornadoes will be a little bit of a less concern. Your main issue will definitely be damaging winds, but tornadoes are still definitely on the table. It's definitely on the table. But then again, you could see absolutely nothing. But you are in that main risk, so you definitely want to be preparing. Heat advisory in Kearney, Missouri. Yep, I've been in a lot of those recently. It's gotten up to high 90s, low hundreds here over the last couple days in Southern Virginia. I'm hating it, especially the heat index. But I mean, the humidity has been horrific. Like, if you just give me 100-degree temps, I'd probably be at least a little okay with it. But if you give me 80-degree temps with 70 dew points and 100% humidity, yeah, that's what will absolutely murder me. Just moisture and humidity. It makes every last degree of temperature worse. Lincoln, Nebraska for tomorrow? Yeah, I mean, you can't rule out an isolated event of, damaging winds? Yeah, that's it. Isolated gust up to 30 to 40 miles per hour could occur tomorrow out there. Very scattered, though. Extremely hit or miss. Not really expecting a thing out there in Nebraska. This is tomorrow's outlook. My bad. I accidentally switched it on y'all. I clicked day 3 on accident. Baltimore City, Maryland this week. I don't think you'll see a whole lot in terms of severe weather action. The main day I'd be watching is Wednesday, but there's a lot of uncertainty. I'll definitely provide updates on that in the near future. But at this point, there's a lot of uncertainty on what we may see out there towards Wednesday. But Wednesday into probably Thursday are the 2 days I'm watching for severe weather out in the eastern portion of the U.S. Let's see here. Yeah, they don't really talk about severe weather. Oh, wait, here we go. Some limited severe potential may exist across the Northeast on Wednesday before the front clears the region. After Wednesday, progression of the front will dissipate the better lower level moisture south of the stronger flow aloft, limiting severe potential across much of the central and eastern United States through this weekend. The only exception is across the high plains, where modest lower level moisture beneath the vertically varying wind profiles could support a few strong to severe storms each afternoon. So really your main issue after tomorrow will probably be just really watching the northern plains, seeing if we see any severe weather in the near future up there. But in terms of a widespread severe threat, tomorrow's probably one of our last notable days for that, for hopefully quite a while. I mean, these threats, I knew this threat was going to sneak up on us. That's why it really didn't sneak up on me, because, well, I knew it was going to attempt to. So it kind of failed at that. But I don't see any really notable severe threats anytime after tomorrow. Tuesday could have some potential, but it would probably be a big old windbag. But that's still far out too. So a lot of uncertainties for Tuesday, but Tuesday could be a little bit of some action out there in, like I said, somewhere between Ohio and Indiana, somewhere in here. So, I mean, we'll monitor it. If we need to, we'll stream Tuesday. At the moment, I'm going to plan to do a stream Tuesday. I don't really see why we won't. So, you're watching this live stream. I plan to do another one tomorrow. And then we'll definitely do one tomorrow, but we'll attempt to do another one Tuesday too. Tuesday will probably be a briefing. I hope we don't see a magical enhanced risk out of nowhere for Tuesday, and then have to end up doing 3+ coverage hours for Tuesday's severe threat. But we'll be live. I mean, geez, we could be live for upwards of 5 hours, 6 hours tomorrow. So buckle in for that stream. That's going to be a ride and a half. What time am I streaming tomorrow? I'm going to pray and hope that storms hold off until supper time. So we're going to aim for 6 o'clock. But there is a very real chance that I am live towards 3:50 tomorrow, Eastern time. That is a very real possibility that I'm live at 3:50 p.m. tomorrow. But I'm aiming for 6, and I'm crossing my fingers that we can hold off the stream till 6 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. But we'll probably be live at 3:50, but hopefully 6. Anywhere between 3 and 6 o'clock, we should be live. I don't plan to go live later than 6 o'clock Eastern. Moderate risk is 4 hours of coverage. So it really just depends on tomorrow's severe threat. But regardless, I'll be live for a while. I'll be live for a while. Tomorrow looks like a big severe threat, so I plan to be live for we'll be live a lot tomorrow. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to make any promises and then end up ending early or something. South Carolina. I mean, you should have daily rain chances from now all the way till gracious. Shoot. I don't see a day where you don't have a chance for rain. All the way till the 27th. It looks like for the next almost 2 weeks, you remain in a risk for rain showers. Now, we'll just see how unlucky you get there. Because we had the risk for rain showers for like 3 weeks out here in Virginia, and we stayed bone dry, so, you know, forecast change. But there's some tropical moisture that's pushing through. It should allow for a lot more rainfall, especially from tomorrow, the 15th, all the way to the, let me see what they say, all the way to the 24th. Ooh, they have a moderate out. We have a moderate risk for heavy precipitation on the 20th and the 21st. Funny. I don't see anything happening there. That's a lot of confidence for something that's not even shown on the model runs yet. Okay, I do see some ensemble model runs, yeah. Okay. We'll see as we get closer. We should know more. I mean, we could go anywhere from, it could be an inch of rain on the 20th, or it could be 7 inches of rain. So there's still a lot of uncertainty on how much rain will fall on that day. Pittsburgh, I don't think you'll have any issue out there. Just your normal thunderstorms. Let's see. Aw, man! I could have put Derecho in the title. Where is it? Where in the world is this discussion? There's increasing confidence. Yeah, I completely missed that the SBC said a derecho possible for tomorrow. Completely missed that one. I completely missed that. I believe that was their morning outlook, not the afternoon outlook. Man. Yeah, so Derecho's definitely on the table for tomorrow. I'd have to go dig into the archive outlooks, which I might be able to. But typically they don't store the archives till like a day after, but maybe I can get it here. No, I don't think I'll be able to find it. Let's see. Can I just go to the archive day 2 risk? Nope. Yeah, there's no way for me to show it on stream in that case. Let me see. I'm gonna just read this real quick and see if they still have it in here. But I didn't see it while skimming. I mean, they do say an intense MCS, 75 plus mile per hour winds will be possible. Bow echo. Yeah. Gracious. Very strong wording. Very strong wording. I'd almost be a bit surprised if they don't go moderate. I feel like the only reason they wouldn't go moderate level 4 out of 5 for tomorrow's wind threat across probably Illinois and Iowa back out here. I feel like the only reason they won't go moderate for that is uncertainty on if that bow echo will form. We'll see what it looks like. I feel like the most likely time for them to pull that moderate trigger would probably be the 12:30 update. But I don't know. They get a lot more information for the 4 o'clock update. So if it's going to be a last second ordeal, it will probably be the 4 o'clock update. I don't know. They could do it at the 9 too. They could really pull a moderate at any advisory tomorrow. Because, you know, the main event probably won't really be happening towards... That's close. Their last outlook for day 1 outlook is 9 p.m. Eastern. The main event looks to be from about 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock tomorrow. So I don't think they'll be able to pull one at the 9 p.m. advisory, but Never know. But we'll see. That's all up to the SPC, and you know, they'll see what model runs show in the morning. They'll see the observations, the weather balloon data, and everything like that. So that's really a call they'll make tomorrow, of course. That's why day 2 moderates are extremely rare. Those are not something you see on a really once a month. They're very, very, very rare. Day 2 moderates are very rare because typically there's not that much certainty on a significant severe episode. So they're pretty rare. But I'm sure we've had like 5+ of them this year. Do you think this may shift or expand to Kentucky or mostly stay up north? And hello to you as well, Victoria. I do think Tuesday could be an issue for Northern Kentucky. So that's this day here. There's a lot of uncertainty, like I've said. But if I'm in this area here of Kentucky, extreme Northern Kentucky, I would be keeping an eye on it Tuesday. We may have some instances of 60, 70 mile an hour winds out there. For the moment, we'll tune that down. We're anticipating about 50 mile an hour winds out there near Cincinnati. But we could see higher than that. It just depends on the trends. If it continues to uptrend, we could be looking at 60, 70 plus mile an hour winds out in Northern Kentucky. But again, at the moment, there's a lot of uncertainty, so I wouldn't be worried about a thing. I'd just be watching it. These summertime storms, man, they are so difficult to predict until day 1. That's why today and especially tomorrow's event is going to be sneaking up on us. Typically, like I said, you really can't predict these things until day of. It's just extremely difficult to predict summertime events because the instability dew points to so many things overperform than what models typically say. So, yeah. What about tomorrow? I don't really know why they even have you in a marginal. I don't see much happening tomorrow. I could be dead wrong. Could be dead wrong, but I don't see a lot at all for tomorrow. That's for just Northern Kentucky, by the way. That's for right here. They do have you in the marginal, but I don't know why. I don't know why. It's definitely more precautionary because, like I said, thunderstorms are very difficult to predict. Models miss storms every single day, and especially June and July, especially July. July is like the worst month for model runs, period, because they just can't handle a thing in July. So that marginal is definitely more precautionary, but it could be, you could have some isolated thunderstorms tomorrow, but I don't see much. Capping potential, it doesn't matter. How about that? Capping is not a factor tomorrow because we're going to see storms fire towards 6 o'clock. I'm confident in that. I'd be blown away. Now, if they fire, the only way capping will be an issue is if storms aren't fired by 9. So if storms aren't going at 9 p.m. Eastern, I'd be considering a cap bust. But I expect storms to fire. It's probably 6, before 6, really. But 6 o'clock, I expect to have a line of damaging winds starting up. Yeah, I agree, Sam. I do think this will be another, this could be another August 2020 Derecho scenario. Now, I didn't look into how significant that event was. It was probably way over the top. Let's see. No, that's very reasonable. No, that's very reasonable. Yeah, they had a moderate in eastern Iowa on that day into northern Illinois. No, that's wow. Freaking history repeating itself over here. That's literally what the HRRR shows. I think it would be a little bit more east. Seems like the August 10th derecho was mainly focused over Cedar Rapids and central Iowa. I think it would be more of eastern Iowa into northwestern Illinois, from what I can tell at the moment. I want to go see the reports on that day. Severe events. the August 10th Derecho. Moderate risk, 910 wind reports, 27 tornado reports, 32 hail. What was the highest wind gust recorded? 2.5-inch hail was the highest, or the largest hailstone coming out from Missouri on that day. Highest wind gust, 72, 70, 106? Yikes. 130? I didn't even know that was a possibility. 130 mile an hour wind gust in Cedar Rapids, Iowa from August 10th. Wow. I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know winds go. Another one. 230 mile an hour wind gusts from different areas. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that significant. At the moment, we're calling for 75 mile an hour winds with the possibility of 85 to 90. That's what we're really anticipating. We're expecting 75 with the possibility of 85 to 90. I don't think we'll be seeing 130 mile an hour winds tomorrow. I saw 2 for 136, Indiana. I saw 2 of them. Columbia City, Indiana. Indiana's risk is uncertain. I'm shocked they put the enhanced risk that far east. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to quickly go to Columbia City. I mean, you're in the main risk. You want to be hyper weather aware. You're in the risk for 80 to 90 mile an hour winds tomorrow. Personally, I don't see nearly as much potential out there as I do back out towards Illinois and Iowa. But you do want to be ready for that worst case scenario. I mean, if we happen to have a derecho that tracks from freaking Fort Dodge all the way out to Ohio, you do want to be ready for that worst case scenario. But I don't see a way how that's gonna happen. But that would be your worst case scenario, is storms fire towards Fort Dodge at 3:30, 4 p.m., grow upscale rapidly towards Des Moines, and then by 4 or 5 p.m. we have a derecho ongoing. And I mean, that would last. How fast would these move? Let's see. All right, we got to bring out the measuring tool with the HRRR for this. Do some calculations here. Try to calculate our absolute worst case scenario, which will most likely not happen by any means. So from here to here. So you're looking at 40 miles an hour for storms to move. So if that were the case, you'd be, so I said what, 3 o'clock? So 3 to midnight, so 7 hours. You're looking at 8.5 hours. I said 40 miles. 8 times 4 is 240. So we're going to go to about 270-ish. So yeah, that would be a worst case scenario. A line forms in around Fort Dodge and it moves towards Chicago. But even then, nocturnal issues would prevent storms from firing and continuing probably beyond Chicago if that were to occur. So there's a lot of uncertainty like past Chicago. I think starting right at Chicago pointing to the east, there's a lot of uncertainty. Oops. There's a lot of uncertainty beyond here. That's really a question mark. I mean, even this risk is a bit of a question mark, but we are starting to lock in the potential for at least 75 mile an hour winds out here. At least. Is there even a slight risk for tornadoes in North Carolina this week? Not at all. No. No, we don't even have any risk at the moment highlighted on Wednesday. So that's why I said I wouldn't be worried about tornadoes or anything. There's not a risk highlighted on Wednesday anywhere at the moment. But they could highlight something later on. Oh, what is Pennsylvania expecting tomorrow? Probably not much. This is tomorrow's risk. Just a lot of isolated thunderstorms. Main threat will be isolated damaging winds up to 60 mile an hour winds for the whole state of PA. The whole entire state of Pennsylvania is under that marginal risk level 1 out of 5 for tomorrow. What I expect in Chicago. Well, I can't tell you what the weather is going to be. If you want temps and stuff, you got to go to the, your meteorologist for that. But I can tell you what severe weather we're expecting because that's what I track the most. You're looking at the potential for a few tornadoes out there in Chicago, especially after 9 p.m. After 9 p.m. tonight, you're looking at a couple tornadoes. Main threat will be definitely damaging winds towards 70 miles per hour. So 70-mile-an-hour winds and a few tornadoes will be possible in Chicago tonight. Main risk will probably be right about 10 p.m. for time frame. Should be 10 p.m. Central. Let's see. Eastern Iowa, that's not really a big concern for any day at the moment in terms of hail. I mean, if you are out in eastern Iowa, this general area here for today and tomorrow, we could see up to 1 to 2 inch hail out there today and tomorrow, but that's not really a big concern. You're looking at more of a damaging wind threat for both today and tomorrow, especially tomorrow in eastern Iowa. Yes, that is an enhanced risk level 3 out of 5 for tomorrow for damaging winds at this moment, which is this one. It's a hatched risk. So that hatched area, that hatched red, is where we're expecting 75 plus mile-an-hour winds. And I do think we could get a pink one in here, which that's pink for wind threat, which would be a moderate. I do think we could see a moderate out there. Like I said, I think out here is where we're generally, like I've said, really east of Des Moines and west of Chicago. So somewhere in here, and I really don't see it being in Peoria. So you're looking at north, east, and west. So somewhere in, I'm going to draw perfect, or at least as perfect as I can get it. Somewhere in here, that's where I think we'll see the greatest damaging winds. Because I don't see much of confidence towards Des Moines or Peoria at this moment. Don't see confidence east of Chicago nor west of Des Moines. So that's the area I'm most confident in damaging winds at this point. So if I were chasing, I would be heading out towards like Marshalltown. That's where I would be, trying to get a hotel in and sleep in Marshalltown, Iowa tonight. So that way I could chase in that area and then follow the line more southeast. But tomorrow we'll get more observations. Those observations will be put into the model runs. And so tomorrow, towards, 2 crucial model runs will probably be the 12Z, the 13ZH for tomorrow morning. Those two are going to determine what risks they probably put out for the, if we stay enhanced or if we get that moderate 4 out of 5. Regardless of if they upgrade the risk or not, we're still going to have the potential for 80, 90 mile-an-hour winds tomorrow, regardless. If it stays enhanced, okay, 80 to 90 mile-an-hour winds possible. If it goes moderate, we'll probably be starting to talk towards 100 mile-an-hour winds possible. So that's really the big difference there is if they upgrade the risk, we could be looking at 100 mile-an-hour winds possible tomorrow. So, welcome back, Caleb. Ah, shoot. I missed the end stream. I blame you guys. I blame you guys. We were supposed to end the stream already. But I guess we'll continue it. I don't really mind doing longer live streams. So, yeah, hopefully you guys have had a great day. What is it today? Sunday. I had a long day today. I'm glad I could fit in a live stream. Glad you guys could all be in here. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel with the notification bell set to also know when I go live tomorrow. If need be, we may initiate urgent coverage tonight. The only way how that will really occur is if we see a line of significant damaging winds, which are not expected at this moment, but never know. So, V, glad to see you back in here. It's always nice to see some of the OGs tune in every once in a while. Glad to see you back in here. No, don't worry. You're not going to see 90 mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. Well, I can't be God and say you won't, but we're not expecting you to see 90-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow in Indianapolis. You could see up to 70, though. You're in that risk. But, yeah, glad to have you back on in here. It's always appreciated. No, Legacy, you're not an OG. You were here at 100 subscribers? No. You're not an OG. Of course you are. Legacy, I think our earliest one is probably Chip. Don't know if Chip is still in here. But Chip's probably the earliest OG who's still around, discluding Lucky. I mean, Lucky was here Lucky was just before Legacy. Yeah. Yeah, I think Legacy was actually not but a couple days after when Lucky tuned in. If you don't know, Lucky's my best friend, and he's really he's the co-owner of the channel. I mean, he literally has permissions to go live on the channel, even though, Lord have mercy, that dude hasn't gone live on my channel in so long. I never really expected him to, though, to be honest with you. When I first told him I could, I was like, yeah, he's going to go live once or twice, but now there's really no reason for him to, because I'm always here. Yeah, Derecho's going to be possible tomorrow, V. Sure will. Thankfully, that should be well off to your northwest. I don't really know. I know why they have it out, of course, but I just feel like there's not enough confidence to have an enhanced risk this far east towards Chicago. Especially into Indiana. So I'm a little bit question marked on why they pulled that trigger so early. But this portion of the enhanced, yeah, one quick peek at model runs, I was like, yeah, no wonder why they put an enhanced risk out. Now, it's also something that is really important to note is these models may be completely underestimating the duration of tomorrow's event. So, for instance, the HRRR has the main threat dying out at, if not west of Chicago, towards 10 o'clock. This could last all night. Like, we could have a damaging windstorm until tomorrow morning, or not tomorrow morning, the next morning, I should say, which would be... Tuesday morning. Yeah, so we could have a derecho from tomorrow afternoon all the way till Tuesday morning. Models are really bad at handling that. We could literally have a line from Des Moines all the way towards, potentially just towards Western Ohio. So we could have that big of a line. Which, gracious, I mean, Lord have mercy, that'd be historic. A 600-mile swath of damaging winds, I don't think we'll see that. That would be an absurd scenario. I would be very shocked if we see that. Again, this is for tomorrow's threat. Today's threat, it still ain't even popping off yet. It's taking so long to pop off, I wonder if it's gonna pop off. I mean, shoot, we were expecting severe storm. Really 8:30 tonight, so I guess it's not too far behind schedule. It ain't really 8:30 yet Eastern now, is it? Another person from Iowa. Glad to have you in here. Glad to see we're reaching some people out there in Iowa. You're right in the middle of that risk. Now, that area is uncertain. We don't know exactly what will happen, but you are in the risk for 80-mile-an-hour winds, maybe even greater than that, as well as a tornado being a possibility and some large hail 1 to 2 inch in diameter. So you're definitely in that risk. If you see a storm, it's probably going to be on the significant side of things. Time frame for those severe storms probably going to be just after 4 p.m. Eastern, so that will be just after 3 p.m. Between 3 and 5 p.m. Central is going to be your time frame for severe storms out there towards Des Moines, and that is for tomorrow. Oh yeah, I saw that, V. I actually saw that way earlier this morning. We got a random severe watch this morning that popped out of literally nowhere. However, I did say that was a very real possibility in last night's live stream. Not to encourage you to tune into the briefings, But I did mention that we could see a line of 60-mile-an-hour winds in Ohio and Indiana or in Illinois. Mother Nature chose Ohio and Indiana. There was two possibilities this morning, either Illinois damaging winds or Indiana, Ohio damaging winds, and definitely went with the Indiana, Ohio one. I'm going to go ahead and look back on that really quickly here. Mapping? Why can't I find the severe warnings? Oh, there they go. Matter of fact, that line that hit you, by the way, V, it's still going. It's in Charleston now. It should be dying out. It looks like it's dying out, so hopefully it continues to die out there. But it's still going. It formed in extreme northeastern Illinois, southeast of Chicago, and then intensified right over Indianapolis, and just barely off to your northeast as well. That warranted a severe watch. Okay, let's see. In that severe watch, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 severes. 5 severes in that whole severe watch. And I'm pretty sure that was 70-mile-an-hour winds possible. Interesting. That's quite underperforming, but I mean, it still occurred. Oh, hey. Hi. We just got a severe watch. Let's see here. 80-mile-an-hour winds possible. 70-mile-an-hour winds likely. 2-inch hail possible. Tornado or 2 possible. Wow. That's quite the threat. Yeah, I think the main issue is definitely going to be closer towards Chicago out here. I think right out in Chicago is going to be your main threat for severe weather today. I'll monitor that. I mean, if it gets really rough, we'll do a stream on it. But today's live stream was really just talking about tomorrow's severe threat. Let's see. If this was a normal year like last year, oh, you bet I would have dedicated 3-4 hours to covering tonight's severe threat. But it's 2024. If there's not a risk for 100-mile-an-hour winds and big tornadoes, I probably won't be doing coverage on it. And I say that because this year's been so crazy that pretty much every day in May we had a tornado. Like, May became so active to the point that we were having almost daily outbreaks. And now that we're kind of getting away from that, it feels weird. It feels weird trying to go back into the normal swing of severe weather where every day isn't the potential for 100-mile-an-hour winds and massive wedge tornadoes. It feels weird coming out of that. But I mean, here we are. Random threat tomorrow pops out of nowhere in the matter of, I mean, what? This was a day 3 marginal, I think? No, it was a day 3 slight. Even before that. The National Weather Service has been talking about this for a long time, but in terms of the magnitude, it really popped out today. I mean, yesterday for Monday, the NAM model was showing a line, like 3 lines of isolated severe weather. In Michigan, actually looked to be the main point of interest for Monday, which is tomorrow's severe threat. Now it looks atrocious in Michigan. And it looks ridiculous in Illinois and Iowa. Which I didn't actually check the model trends in terms of that trough. Yeah, there's a whole heck of a lot more certainty on, yeah. There's not a single model that shows Michigan being a severe threat anymore for tomorrow. I mean, you could still see a severe storm or 2 in Michigan, but the main risk, northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, maybe southern Wisconsin for tomorrow. Really, exactly where we have this severe watch. Exactly where the severe watch is in place now is exactly where we will be talking about a potential derecho tomorrow. Maybe a little bit more south, but still like right there. The tornado season's done, yeah. Our main tornado season finished, I'd say, I mean, let me go look back towards archives here. I think our tornado season really concluded. I'm just looking back here really quick. I'd say early July. I mean, we're still getting tornadoes, but our main like tornado outbreak, kaboom, risks, that stuff really ended probably like late June. Yeah. Somewhere like around June 20th, our tornado outbreak threats started to end. Yeah, our last notable tornado potential was really the 26th of June. So that was really our last day. After that, our tornado season's been really dead. But we're still having daily tornadoes, y'all. Just our outbreaks of where, big tornado outbreaks, that stuff's been inactive and not as present. But I mean, gracious. From Beryl, we had 50 tornadoes from Beryl on the 8th. Then we had an additional 12 on the 9th. And then we had an additional 7 on the 10th. So Beryl brought back that tornado threat. But that's not tornado season. That's tropical season. We had a big tornado up there in Montana. We had a potential tornado of the year out there in the target area near Fargo that I talked about in yesterday's stream. After we ended the stream, we had a massive wedge or a big wedge tornado that occurred up there. A very photogenic, a bit dusty of a wedge tornado that happened up there it was either, man, I don't know, North Dakota. Yeah, North Dakota. I was thinking it might have been south. It was in North Dakota. So we're still getting tornadoes for sure, but the big tornado outbreak things and the massive, giga troughs that we were talking about in May, that stuff's long gone. We're looking at more of regional tornado outbreak threats and big time damaging wind bags. Which it's typical, typically just climatology wise, we typically end our yeah, we typically end our threats or our big tornado events in late June. Mid to late June is typically when we have our last big trough to swing through the U.S. But again, we still, these are just summertime severe threats with the potential for 80, 90, 100 mile an hour winds. That's just stuff you see in late June into July into August. And then towards September and October, especially as you go into October, just after hurricane season begins to wind down in late September, early October, your second season starts to kick up in early to mid-October. November, it's really ongoing. December, still second season's present. And then January, it's still present but starts to wind down. I think October is, climatology-wise, one of the more active second season months. I'll have to go to the SPC site. Not the mesoanalysis, the SPC site. Yeah, I want to go for, stop that. Can I go back a few frames, please? Yeah, our second season is very dull, but it's still there, especially as you go into, yeah, looks like really mid to late October and early November. From like October 10th all the way to November, until the end of November. So mid-October through November and into a bit of early December, we have our tornado threat, our second season. I don't know if second season's going to be able to do it this year, though, to be real with you. We'll see. I mean, there's always a chance. The most likely for a tornado outbreak, climatology-wise, in second season is about late October, towards October 28th, all the way to November 25th. That's like a full month of potential outbreaks there. just when we can have troughs that enter the U.S. Now, it doesn't mean each one of those days are going to be outbreaks. Definitely not. But we'll probably have an outbreak of tornadoes sometime in that month time frame there. That's just solely based off of climatology. And then we can include the fact that this year has been freaking crazy. So second season is probably going to be a bit more over the top. And also, to take into account with the tornado season, I will say this. Huh. Actually, it looks like according to this map, it actually peaks on the 25th of November. Interesting. Two different maps there. But our La Nina is not as strong as what was expected, so actually hurricane season shouldn't be too historic. Shouldn't be too historic. It's still historic, but it shouldn't be too historic because we're going into more of that neutral phase. We might hit a weak La Nina, but I doubt it. I think we're going to stay towards the weak, the neutral phase, maybe a weak La Nina. Neutral phase is really what I'm seeing now. So if we don't go into that La Nina towards second season, that's going to increase our tornado threat just solely because it will be an El Nino as opposed to a La Nina. I haven't looked at the climatological things or anything like that. I really don't want to. Yeah, La Nina is expected in August and October. Interesting. Depending on how strong that will be, will depend on that tornado threat as well. But, I mean, even if we're in a weak La Nina, we'll still have a notable second season. So it does look like we are actually still expecting a La Nina, but not the... I mean, earlier this year, we were thinking strong La Nina. We were thinking it would have formed now. I personally thought we were going to be in a La Nina in late June, early July, but I was wrong about that. I mean, we're still hovering around that neutral phase. We're not having that plummet into La Nina yet. We're still hugging around that 0-0 mark, and we've been like that for over over 2 months. Ever since late April, we've been hugging around that neutral phase. Really early May. Yeah, early May. Very late April, early May. We've been hugging right around that neutral phase ever since then, and we haven't had that sharp divot into La Nina yet. Doesn't La Nina mean cooler weather than normal too? You'll have to check with Catman on that. Catman, you got to answer that one, buddy. But with La Nina and El Nino, the two typical things I know is El Nino results in a southern jet stream, which brings more severe weather further to the south, and a La Nina brings more severe weather closer towards like where we're tracking for tomorrow, and more of the central plains too. And then La Nina also brings a more active hurricane season because of less wind shear. And it also brings a less active EPAC hurricane season. And then El Nino brings a more active EPAC season and a less active Atlantic hurricane season. If you're in the south, it's warmer than normal in the winter. Yay. Wait. So, hold on, Catman. What would be better for a second season then? Because if a La Nina brings warmer temps to the southern U.S., like out here, that could bring a more active second season. But your La Nina jet stream is typically more to the north, and your El Nino jet stream is typically more to like the south. So an El Nino brings a further southern jet stream, but a La Nina brings a warmer climatological, just overall temperatures as a whole. So which one would favor more of severe weather there in second season? Let's see. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad will Chicago be tonight? 6. I just did that off of the scale that that probably... Okay, we do a scale from 0 to 5 or 1 to 5. So you're screwing me up here. It's a 2 out of 5. So that would be a 4 out of 10, right? 4 out of 10 for Chicago. So you're at about a 4 out of 10 in Chicago if you do it that way. And that means tomorrow would be a 6 out of 10. Possibility for an 8 out of 10 for Chicago. You really screwed me up on that one. We do this scale from 0, or technically 1 to 5. This is what I mean by 0, okay? So on this channel, we call this a 0. That's a 0. This is a general thunderstorm risk, basically meaning rain showers with a chance of a boom boom thunder over here. So we call that a 0.5. And then we call our marginal 1, slight risk 2, enhanced risk, which is orange, a 3. And then red, moderate 4, pink, high 5. Welcome back, Chip. Still got a NATO warning up here. This is for a different cell. Freaking Canada. I think, I said that because of the radar coverage, by the way. Just a heads up on that. I think Canada actually implemented their high-resolution radars now. It still looks pretty... It still looks pretty pixely to me. It looks a bit better. Let's do the comparison. Nah, nope. So US radar, just kind of memorize that image right there. US radar and yikes. Canada radar. Yeah, I don't think they've really fixed the radar sites too much. Canada has the outbreak looking radar. No, really. No, actually, that's kind of crazy. That's actually crazy. I would say La Nina because the ingredients are just sitting there waiting to be used. Because I think that's supposed to be, yeah. You don't have as many troughs trying to tap into that energy, causing it to end there and build. Did I read that right? Let me retry that. Because you don't have as many troughs trying to not tap into that energy, causing it to end there and build. Wow. Okay, I read that almost correctly. Catman, I think you misworded your sentence there. Trying to sit there and build. There you go. That's the word we were missing. That's the word we were missing. Now, if Caleb made that mistake, I would not be making fun of him, but it's Catman, so. Alrighty. Well, we're going to end the stream here, y'all, shortly. Hour and a half. So we'll start concluding in about 2-3 minutes. Before you guys go, 8 more likes before we get 100 likes. That was not the like goal. The like goal was 50 in this live stream. So if you guys can hit that like, just 8 more likes until we hit that 100 like mark, 2 times our like goal. Also, if you can, subscribe to the channel before you head out with the notification bell set to all. We'll be live tomorrow for multiple hours covering the severe threat all the way from western Iowa into probably western Ohio for tomorrow. And that stream is, I'm expecting to start it up at 6, but knowing how weather normally is, I could be live at 3:50 Eastern tomorrow. So yeah, special thanks to the mods for modding chat, Catman, Chip, Carson, Legacy. I think that was the majority, Caleb, of the mods who tuned in today. Greatly appreciated that y'all tuned in. Everyone else who tuned in, of course, and also Legacy for being a member for 11 months. As for tonight, like I said, I'll be on standby, but I don't plan to go live at all tonight. I'm gonna just get some good rest tonight, so that way I can have some energy for tomorrow, and we'll do a big stream tomorrow probably. So, I was wanting to do an Outbreak live stream, but I don't know. It depends on when that would be, because if I can get the stream going at like 9 or something, that'd be okay, but I don't know. No promises on that Outbreak stream, but I want to do another Outbreak stream in the near future, and also a solo one too, without Lucky screaming at us 24/7. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know about an Outbreak stream. It just depends what I do tonight, Catman. My life is always a question mark. That's why my streams are question marks all the time too. I never know what's going to happen in a given day until, well, it happens. My days are rarely planned out. So, yeah, let's see. So, again, I hope you guys had a great Sunday and have a great rest of y'all's night. We're going to go ahead and switch on over to the inning stream. I greatly appreciate all the people that you guys helped me reach today. Let me go see. We almost reached 2,000 people with the word of severe weather today. I got to get a video out, man. That's what I got to do. That is what I got to do. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Lord have mercy. Maybe I could attempt, if I wake up early enough, I could attempt to do an urgent video tomorrow morning to brief y'all on this threat that's going to happen tomorrow. Maybe I'll attempt to do that. No promises, again. But if I have the time, maybe I'll try to get a quick video out tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow. Gracious day. I don't know. I'm going to try that, though. I'm going to attempt to do it because I need to get a video out. I haven't had a video out in well over a week now. The longest I've gone without a video, maybe ever since May. So, anyways, I'm going to stop yapping on here. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Again, thank you, mods, for Mono Chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, share the channel on your way out. Have a great rest of your night. Stay safe, watch severe weather in the tropics. Goodbye. stay safe, watch the severe weather in the tropics, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Have a great rest of your night. Welcome, Pete, to being a mod. See you guys tomorrow. Good.